Trent, how you doing?
Hey Trevor, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there.
Oh yeah, sun shining and everything. It's lovely.
I mean, it's shining somewhere. we're in January, so like it seems like all of our episodes that come out in January and February are just going to be a little bit gloomier. Of course, not our personalities,
No.
but weather-wise.
Yeah, that's what I do. I like to brighten up a room. Just smiles and bring the energy.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think anybody could tell what's going on outside the room, just based on what they're watching here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we look pretty cozy, but I'm actually freezing right now. I am freezing. But he looks cozy.
We started losing pieces of the set because we had to warm up in between, so it's okay. There used to be a lamp here.
Yeah. Ready to crack it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, John wasn't too happy. I don't know. Earlier today, I was like walking in, and I love seeing John. John's the owner, and I was like, "Hey, John," and we go in, and I'm more of like a hit and then pull somebody in with like a half hug, But we went into this
secret handshake style, almost like, oh no, hang on, how do we get the puzzle?
Like 15 seconds. I was like, man, that was a bit awkward, So I was telling him, I was like, I think that people should be like pulled in with an embrace, Whenever somebody's like pounding my hand, I feel like they're pushing me away. They're just like, hey, how you doing? Get away from me.
Punching out like
just like
What was that like that? Those rock'em sock'em
yeah. Whenever somebody like comes up with me, hey, how you doing? And I'm just like, I just want to grab their fist and be like, no, how you doing?
Come here, you.
Yeah. And a lot of it is like, I think a lot of it is just like, I'm religious, I'm Christian, and I think at church I realized I always had a tendency to, and it's not at church, but everywhere I have a tendency to push people away. It's just naturally for me. I don't know. It just comes natural. Just push people away. And so I started to be like, well, how can I bring people into my life more? And I was like, well, I guess I have to bring them in.
So there we go.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. So now instead of, this or anything, I hit them with this and I grab them and I pull them in.
There we go. Yeah.
And then you can tell the people that aren't used to embraces, because they stiffen up.
What is this?
Like a board. They're like, oh man. And I'm just like,
you need to get through this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like hugging a column or something.
This is what it feels like to hug a statue.
Yeah. But you know what? It's interesting because after about 2 or 3, maybe 10 times doing that to somebody, they tend to break down a little bit, and then they get into it a little bit. Start opening up. They're like, oh, somebody does care about me.
It's amazing when you learn to like be a good hugger.
Yeah.
I wasn't a good hugger. Here's a little bit insight on Trent.
You?
Yeah, I was not a good hugger.
Interesting.
My wife taught me how to be a good hugger. I would do one of those hug and then barely touch.
Yeah, oh yeah, we keep the distance.
How you doing? And she's like, what is that? She was almost a bunch like, do you even love me? I'm like, yeah. She's like, then why don't you hug me? I'm like, what do you mean? I do. And no, I did that for years. And then she's like, no, you need to be like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, now it's so much nicer.
So, I mean, did she send you off to like a boot camp or something, or what? How did you?
No, it was just had to like straighten up and just learn it, because otherwise she'd pull in because it looked like.
I'm just picturing you every morning, just like practicing in the mirror. Okay.
Yeah. You get the weights involved, get some 10 pounds on there. You don't do that.
We all have our own struggles.
Yeah.
But yeah, needless to say, I was just like, okay, that's I mean, usually when things are awkward, I like to tell people, hey, this is awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but bringing the elephant into the room is always more comfortable for me.
It just makes it easier. I think that when you get used to having uncomfortable conversations, it just makes it better. Because then you're just not pushing things off. You're like, okay, let's just bring this elephant in. Presenting the elephant.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I automatically just do that because I just, I think I don't know if it's like a protective measure that I have or whatever, just to naturally, nothing can get to me, Yeah. It's awkward. So what? I'm weird. So what?
It's fine.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought I'd bring that up because I was like one of those things where I first came in this morning. I was like, I don't even know how we started talking about that. What
greetings, fist bumps. What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something about, I saw John this morning, and then anyways, that tangent came up, but but that was kind of awkward this morning with John, and I had something kind of similar with Robert Palmer, the owner of LPT, about a month or two ago. We went to a motivational Monday. They have the weekly Monday meetings, and we went to it in live, and I didn't realize he knew who I was. So he comes up, "Hey, Trevor, how are you?" And like,
did you get like celebrity feel like, oh, he knows my name?
Sort of. I was like, it threw me off, and then I was like trying to handshake and hug, and I'm just like, dude, yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like, because it's weird because he was born and raised in Lakeland, not far away, and so he's just a local boy, but he's worth like $1 billion now, with RP funding and LPT, and it's just like people will not ever like it. You think running into a billionaire, they'd just be different or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks like he wears Walmart clothes. No offense, Robert.
But that's how you get the money. You just go, hey, I'm good with this, and
he doesn't care.
It does its thing.
Well, that's the thing. So you got new money and old money. Old money doesn't show it off. They just, it is what it is. It's like an asset. It's a tool. It's not anything like that. But new money is something like where you just have millionaires and you're just like, I got to show it off.
Yeah.
I got my Gucci. I got my, I don't know, those other
designer,
brands.
insert designer brand here.
Yeah, exactly. But that is something you do notice, like when people first get money, they like to show it off or something.
I don't know what to do with it.
Right. Billionaires don't need to.
Yeah, we've already done that. They're like, I did that phase.
Yeah.
Now it's over.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyways, if you ever run into anybody, just tell them this is an awkward meeting.
This is an awkward meeting.
Yeah.
I want it to go well, so I just want you to know it's awkward right now. So we can just move past it.
Yeah. And it's not so much me, it's you. I'm
not bringing any awkward to this. I'm just letting you know the elephant's here.
Yeah, I'm just saying you are not good at this hello. Okay. So, I'm good at hellos. So, and you might find out one day. Okay. If you walk up and if you know me and but we've never met in person, you walk up and give me a hug, I'm just gonna tell you it's gonna be a good hug back. So I do give good hugs. You've never experienced that, but you've gotten probably the pull in.
Yeah.
I think you've probably tried to give me the fist bump, and I'm just like,
You're like,
fist. So, I didn't always used to be like that. I used to really like the fist bump because I'm just like, I don't have to touch somebody.
Yeah.
Like you touch, but you don't have to shake hands.
Yeah.
It's kind of that Howie Mandel thing. Howie Mandel's he's a germaphobe. So it was kind of like one of those things. It's like, so after COVID, we all became somewhat germaphobes. We're just like, we don't need to touch him. 6 feet.
Yeah,
buddy.
6 feet.
The I'll pound you from over here.
Yeah.
But then after a little bit, they're just like, we'll just keep pounding or give elbows or something.
Oh, the elbow.
The elbow. Remember the elbow?
That was awkward.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know. I can't even if I had to sanitize my knuckles, even my fist bump, let's just elbow.
I sneeze into my elbow. I'm like,
oh yeah, it's way more contaminated than my hand, and I never wash it. Okay, I shower and I clean my clothes, but it's like I don't go into the bathroom like let me wash the elbow. I just sneezed in that.
Yeah, that's kind of when you knew that everything was off.
Yep.
Just the things we were doing. It's like
just really weird at that.
But I could get on board with that 6 foot rule. We were down at Disney World, and you always get people right up on top of you in the lines, like just constantly bumping into you. And I always have a backpack because we're cheap, so we carry stuff in, food and stuff and drinks. And so I have my backpack, and people are always bumping into me, and I'm trying to be like, okay, it's cool, it's all good. It's just kids just having fun. 6 feet rule, nobody ever bumped into me.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. Yeah, sure, we went 52 miles because the lines were so long because 6 feet, 6 feet between every person, but it was worth it.
Yeah. I think it's just kind of like a dad thing too. I'm the backpack. Like when it comes to things, I wear the backpack when we're out and about, so my wife doesn't have to. So I'm fine with it. But I do it too. I'm like turn around, I forget it's on my back, smacking somebody. Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know. I think it's just because I'm a cheapskate. So listen, you guys all get a water bottle for a day. I'll carry 6 waters, write your name on it, and then drinking fountains, or there'll be water fill stations. Then you go to the water fill station. You don't get to buy a new drink. What is this, vacation? It's not. It's Disney World. We
Right.
live here.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a vacation.
Yeah,
We're gonna have fun
exactly.
in the fashion that allows us to have even more fun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You want to come here once, or you want to come here 3 times.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
You get the full experience, the full,
Yeah. The difference is bringing your own water or not. How many times you want to come here with your own water?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the backpack thing. I used to bring a backpack everywhere I went. I felt like it was, I don't know, because I always had my computer on me.
Mm.
No, I guess I don't. I bring my iPad pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just part of being in the industry. Sometimes you have to tap into certain things. Like I can do it on my phone, or I can just get that full screen experience, just do it on the laptop real quick.
yeah, I definitely like my home computer. I have my 3 monitors.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just throwing stuff around. Oh, I got stuff open. I'm doing
Yep.
stuff, And so when I just couldn't get on board. I used to carry around a laptop a lot, but then I was just like, I'm just gonna go with the iPad. It's good enough. It's what
Yeah.
I need it for. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh look, somebody's trying to show a property of mine, but they didn't request a code for the lockbox. It says on there, electric lockbox. And then when you schedule a showing on showing time, it tells you what type of lockbox. You need a Century lockbox code. 3 days later, you want to show up at the house and say, hey, I don't have a code or a way into the house. They're just going to sit out there.
Well, this is the nice outside view.
Yeah.
Time to peeking through some windows.
I don't quite understand it.
So what do you do in those cases? You just go, are we to text them a code? Or do they have to
Yeah,
register online? Or
Well, I'm going to have to get them a code right now, so I apologize. But you're going to see some real action, like headwinds right now. I mean, we're solving some problems.
That's what we do. We really do solve the problem. So
Mhm.
don't be worried about messy transactions and all that. We'll just solve the problems.
Yeah. What type of problems have you been having lately?
Well,
Texas problems?
everything's bigger in Texas, so including the problems.
It's true.
But no, I mean, sometimes what you have to do to go above and beyond for clients is like I ran into a problem where for some reason I had to refinance a property in Texas, and the first title company I worked with didn't quite grasp it. They were very much, this is the way we do things in Texas. And so what I had to do was I had to go and then source another title company and explain the exact same thing I said to the other one. And they go, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do that. Okay. And I'm like, why did the other person have the problem with this? So it's just kind of one of those things. I had to go through extra hoops, which is no problem. It's what we do for our clients. Like
Right.
If there's a solution, we find it.
So it was the title company's issue, is what you're saying?
Yeah. For some reason, they thought the only way that homestead could be removed is if he had another property in Texas and they would just transfer the homestead to that one. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So then I talked to the other title company, like, well, just have him talk to his appraiser's office and say you want it removed. Now, his appraiser's office didn't have the internet, apparently, because the only way they would do it is if you mailed a letter or you delivered it in person.
Why?
I don't know. They haven't heard the internet. It's 2025. They don't have it on their phones. They fire up their Windows 95 PCs and say, let's just get to work. You can call us if you need us.
There's some people that aren't even supplying like paper stuff like we were talking, that they're only doing internet type stuff. Like I was having a problem earlier where a client, he just doesn't do computers, and he went down to a bank to get a year's worth of statements, and they'd only give him 6 months. And it was like,
even the bank didn't want to print off that much paper.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. That's a lot of paper, but at the same time, it's like, this guy's been at this bank for 40 years. You can't just make his life easy because he doesn't want to be on the internet right now.
It's a one-off request.
Obviously there's policies in place. It was the bank manager that said no, so there's reasonings behind it that I don't know about.
Well, we have had a lot of wind recently, so maybe they're worried he'd walk outside with those papers in his hand, the wind would just take it, and then his accounts would be everywhere.
That's a valid point. I didn't consider that.
They were just trying to think of what his best interest were for his. So
I don't know why that didn't just pop in my head. Lots of wind.
Yeah.
We had a deal recently that we were trying to help refinance a guy out. It's been a bit of a mess because he's been trying to sell his house and refinance out of a private lender, and it's a foreclosure and the auction dates in like a few weeks. The lender that's foreclosing on him yesterday agreed to refinance the loan himself.
Oh,
Did I
okay.
tell you that?
Oh, he did.
He did, but he has to for $650,000, and then our client has to come up with the rest, which has been the problem that he's had in the first place. Coming up with the money. But he's got he's applied for another private loan, a business loan, because his business is thriving right now. And so hopefully he can get that to pay for. But anyways, we're sitting right on. And I've been dealing with both my client because we have his home listed. Plus we were trying to refinance it. Plus I was dealing with the lender on the other side, the private lender, because he had the opportunity. We accepted an offer. He had an opportunity to give us till March to not foreclose, and he opted not to. He wanted to foreclose on him. So it was but in the process, it's kind of a bum deal no matter what. But if this does go to auction and our client, loses the house, the private lender is actually going to relist with me. Oh. So yeah, so at least I got that, But it was one of those things where it was like what a hairy situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, what about? Do they have any other properties they could take a HELOC out of? Anything?
Yeah, so they have a few other properties, but I don't think have the equity in them for the HELOC or anything like that. Yeah, I know. The private lender that is foreclosing on them, they've done a ton of private loans through, because he's a contractor and flips the client that's being foreclosed on, and so they've made millions of dollars between the two of them, or together, I should say. But this one didn't go as well.
Well,
so
even private lenders can like to continue to get paid, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his problem is. Like, if somebody stopped paying me, I'd just forgive him, because, that's what we do.
It's in your heart.
Yeah. So that's been kind of the one of the major issues I've had lately. That has been probably that deal right there, because it's it's a $1.1 million house, and for it to we were expecting a closing in March, and now we're not even sure that we're going to be able to sell it. And then we couldn't refinance him. If he refinances out himself, he's supposedly going to sell it again, even if he refinances out. But who knows?
Who knows?
So yeah. It's just a mess, and I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to be a deal of ours or not. But it's in Palm Beach County, so that's kind of nice.
It's a good area.
Yeah, it's a good area. So we'd like to get more listings down in that area too. A little bit further away, but we are part of a team that has people right down there. So one of our team members, she just pops in whenever we need something done, and she just takes care of everything. So
I think that's one of the good premises of what your team is doing. Like the locals, like you're like, I'm local to lender, but we also have the locals in that area, and a local expert can just pop in, take care of the situation.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, what I do a lot too is, we work all over Florida, but we can't possibly be there for everybody. We can't be in person, but you deserve to have somebody there in person, but you also deserve to have the person that might be the best representative too, which I think I am. Yeah. So it's interesting, because like this type of thing down in Boynton Beach, they actually get 3 realtors. Like, I'm not even actually on the listing, because I was trying to work a little bit more on the mortgage side, and I was trying to basically give part of the listing to the local agent. So my wife Jessica's on the listing, and then the local agent's on the listing, and it works out well that way. And then they get 3 realtors. So
perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Good team.
Yeah. But there's it's interesting, because for as many smooth deals as there is, which are actually more few and far between, usually there's hiccups. It's just that most of the time, if you have a good realtor, a good lender, you don't hear about all the problems.
No,
we solve them for you. That's why you hired us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. we take care of it all in the back end, and we figure it all out, and then we go, okay, now here's the solution. And that's really the main thing. Is like, instead of just addressing a problem, it's just bringing the solution. Hey, here's what it is, but I solved this. And I don't like coming back. I tell like the main thing, here's the one thing I solved for you, just so you know. But otherwise, I don't have to come and be like, here's the 5 things I fixed for you as well along the way.
Yeah, I do that. I keep track. I keep track, and I'm like, this is everything.
This one and
so
this
at
one
closing, I'm just like, you're welcome for, and I just start going off. I mean, I have it all written down. So, anyways, so if you wanted to send the extra bonus into the LPT, you know, I totally understand.
Yeah,
I would too.
Right, exactly. So any questions like, why am I giving you this commission? Well, did you see everything I did? Here's my list.
Yeah.
Would you like it itemized? Because it would be double at that point.
Yeah, and then when I go into a listing presentation with Larry, I'm like, look what I did for Patty. Yeah, every single one. Yeah. Yeah. What's that number? 72? Yeah, I was rubbing her shoulders during closing, okay? So that she had a smooth signature.
Yeah, exactly. So all the signatures match. It was perfectly fine.
Yeah. So I wrote that down too, because that was something I did. I performed.
Above and beyond.
Yeah, above and beyond. I mean, I just don't think many realtors are doing that type of stuff.
No, nobody's giving back massages.
All right. Well, I mean, what else you got, man? Any wisdom for us this week?
I think that what I would say is there's more than one way to tackle problems when you look at things. So not personally my deal, but I helped one of my team members become team lead for my team. They had a deal where we had a cash to close issue. We were trying to do down payment assistance. They were able to get like something from their grandma to give some cash. But we had to cover some other closing costs. Well, we actually ended up with a really good windfall because the purchase price was like $371, but the house appraised for like $427. So what we were able to do, we said, hey, Mr. Seller, how about we say we're giving you $396 for the deal, and then you're going to give us $23,000 in credit, and you'll make a couple bucks more than, you know, selling your home for $371. And then it worked out. They got clear to close. I think they're closing either this week or beginning of next week.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were actually talking about that last week, and I meant to ask how that one was going.
Yep.
Because I was curious, but that's what I'm talking about. See, there's like little things that always come up, and people call them issues, but they're just literally just hurdles. They're just like something that comes up. Hey,
a little speed bump.
Yeah, a little speed bump. You're just gonna have to figure out what we got to do at this time based on now our current situation.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. And that was like the thing too, because I was working with the processor on it. They came like, hey, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I'm like, don't worry, I've already solved it.
Yeah.
But I talked to the loan officer ahead of time, told him what needed to happen, and it was just each step along the way we took care of it.
Good. That's exciting, man.
Just bring that elephant in the room, look at it, analyze it, go, okay, this is how we deal with the blue elephants.
Yeah. So I mean, and the realtor's got to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a little awkward. They're like, we're not used to doing this. I'm like, it's a net sheet. Just send them the net sheet, and they'll see the final numbers the same as what you gave them before. And they're like, oh, that makes sense.
They don't send net sheets off?
Well, they just weren't used to renegotiating, asking for all this credit. They were like, I don't know if they were new to it, but
yeah.
I'm like, have you seen some of Trevor's deals? He negotiates the heck out of things for his clients.
Yeah, I feel like the difference between a good realtor and a great realtor is how creative you can get in amongst that deal. You know, because ultimately, like, we always have a fiduciary duty to our clients, so we always want what's best for our clients. However, how you go about that and what's actually best is sometimes different than like what we think. And so I do feel like there's certain realtors that I've met in my life that are just their creativity, you know, and you're just like, wow, I would have never thought to structure the deal like that, you know. But there was an investor I used to work with, and he retired. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, this was in Idaho. But he always used to tell me, he's like, listen, he's like, most people, they want price. I'll give them price, but I want terms. You know, and there's always that trade-off between price and terms. And I think the savvy investor or the savvy person realizes that terms is a lot more important than price.
Yes.
So we all get hung up on price and, you know, monthly payments and stuff. But if you can get the right terms of the deal, That's how you win. And that's what investors are really good at. And I think that's
Yeah.
what good realtors do for their clients
Yeah.
is they make sure they have their best terms.
Exactly. And that's what can make or break your deals. Getting the right terms can make your payment better because you can get the credit from the seller. It goes towards buying down the rate or something like that, or paying these closing costs.
Yeah.
So you can go, okay, I'm going to reduce my closing costs at closing.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. Like we have a client that is going to be back in the market here in a little bit. And when I was talking to him the other day, he already has a house in mind and everything. But he was just like, do you think they'd take this amount? And I'm like, to be quite honest, we need to get you pre-approved because the reason being is how we structure our deal is going to be entirely based on your pre-approval, what money we need down, what we need to ask for, and so everything, like how we write the deal is based on his pre-approval and then what's best for him in that deal.
Exactly. And that's the way I look at it. Like I tell people, like, I can give you some scenarios in a vacuum and it nearly feels infinite. However, if I have an application and I get you pre-approved, I can then see you have 6 paths to victory. We can get this done 6 different ways. Or is it the case that, okay, you only have one, so that I can work with your agent to tell you, here is how you need your deal done, and then now go get the terms.
Exactly. I mean, because like even with this guy, like he was like, do you think I'd be able, he was looking at a house at about 650,000. He's like, do you think I'd be able to get it for 625? And I said, well, here's the thing is, would you be mad if you paid 635 but got closing costs? Like I just, let's not, I don't think we should come in at like, this should be the price in mind right now. Let's go with what we think we're going to be able to get out of that seller, and then based on what's best for your offer.
Yeah.
So
100%. That's what it is. You have to just go with that dynamic mindset.
Right. Yeah. So I was really hesitant. I was like, I don't even want to answer. Do I think you get it for 625? Yeah, I do. But I really don't think we should be offering 625. I think we should look at where your pre-approval lies and then make our offer based on what we need. So we might have to offer more than 625, but it might actually be that you're paying less.
Yeah.
With how we have it written.
Yeah. Which is probably more important to
him. Yeah. But also we've dealt with this client before and he doesn't understand the minutia of that, of when you move the numbers around and the values. So, and he's an incredibly smart guy. It's just that some people see the overall price or whatever. They don't see the movers, the money moving around, the numbers moving around, and so I remember last time it was difficult explaining what was going on.
Yes.
So
it was.
Oh, we lost our thing. There we go. We're back. We're back up. I love that picture. I don't even know. I don't even know how I came up with this right here. I just thought that the blue, it's kind of like bluish green, and it's a lot like the Locals Group,
Yeah.
And it kind of blended in with the sky a little bit. And I like that scene of. I don't even know. This is the Orlando area. I don't know where.
Let's figure out what that building is.
I know. I want to say that's in Winter Park.
I have an expert on Winter Park. We'll have to run it past him.
Yeah.
And see.
Jeez, I feel like an idiot right now. We're not going to post this part on the podcast. It's going to be on blank.
Editing out. It's going to,
Ever since that went black, it just hasn't been going smooth. Now I fully admit, I don't even know where that is. Yes, I'm a realtor here in town.
The real local experience.
Yeah. But, you don't get very many aerial shots where you're just like, but that should be, I feel like that's Winter Park or further over Windermere area. A little bit north. But anyhow, what were we talking about? Yeah. So anyways, so he already kind of made those mistakes before, but when he backed out before, it was really because we had him in a townhome before, and he just wasn't having it. He wanted a single family, so he decided to rent for an additional year.
Yeah.
So, but that is one of those situations where I think he missed an opportunity for an investment property?
Yeah, I think so too. Because when I look at that scenario, because we were working it together, he would have had it for a year, and now you could have moved out. You could have gotten somebody else moved in. It was in a desirable area. You would have got the rent that would have covered the payment, and now you have another house that's appreciating.
Yeah, and with that offer, we were getting it just a crazy deal with the amount that we were asking back from the seller.
He was getting his deposit back at closing.
Right.
He was doing it was down payment assistance, and it was a seller credit that covered all the closing costs, and he was getting his deposit back at closing.
Right.
Who closes on a home and gets a check back?
But this is where we were talking, where he got confused because it appraised for $10,000 or $20,000 less than what we had an offer for. And we had told the listing agent it's not going to appraise that. It's probably going to appraise, and it appraised exactly where we said it was going to appraise. But in his head, in our buyer's head, even though we were asking $10,000 above the appraisal price, it was because we were still getting all that other stuff thrown in for free. So our actual offer price was like 30, 40 grand less than that. He just couldn't see through that. He couldn't see through, and he only saw that I'm paying more than the appraised value. And so
would have been a great deal for an investment property. But
yeah,
hey, onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards.
On the next one, we'll work to get him a really good deal as well.
Well, and this one is going to be his actual home. And so I think it'll be a different emotional buy. It'll be, that other one, I think he was buying it for a home but only to live in, temporarily.
Yeah, it wasn't a home for him.
Right.
It was a house.
Right. So I don't know. You guys decide, is that a missed opportunity, or is that, or did he make the right decision on staying here? I just think there was such a great opportunity to purchase.
Yeah. Drop it in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah. Drop it. Let us know, because maybe we're coming down hard on this guy, and maybe this was a better decision for him. But I'm just looking at, he's paying $4,500 a month in rent, and in a full year, that just seems like that townhome in $4,500, he would have been paying additional funds. So he would have been paying principal if he would have kept making $4,500 payments, and that he would have had that paid down even more. So I'm just saying.
And then if you get a renter and they're paying your property for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, it's not like if he were to, at that point where you have a renter in place, it's not like that mortgage is going to hurt you from getting another mortgage, because it's all debt to income anyways.
Right. It's paying for itself. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, put it in the comments, but I'm just saying, I think he messed up. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't think you could, everything's hindsight, because here's the other thing was, his other thing was, yes, it was a townhome versus a single family, but also he expected the interest rates to be a lot lower this time, this year. And he thought house prices were going to be down.
Oh, and yeah, I do recall that. And are they?
No.
Are house prices down?
No. In fact, after the election, what are they?
Up.
They're up. People decided that after the inauguration, really, that they were going to price it a little higher. And it goes back to what we talked about last week or whatever. Yeah. But it's all speculation, and people have a tendency to wait during that, presidency run.
Yep.
But it's like, why? What's really going to change in that amount of time? And there's a lot. I mean, there's a decent amount of change that could, but as far as like a home purchase where somebody's going to be living in a house anyways,
yeah,
what's really going to change?
Right. It's not going to be astronomical big changes.
Right. And if the interest rates go down, refi.
Yep. Exactly. So when you're ready to get all of your mortgage and real estate solutions solved, just come to us and we'll take care of you and get you the right deal, the right terms.
Yeah, you won't have any problems. You just have solutions.
Just solutions.
Yeah. Hey, good job, Trent.
Yeah, good job.
We'll catch you on the next one, right?
On the next one.